Welcome to the Arsenal show. We are live. It's the reaction to the 0-0 draw versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Some would say it was a good draw. Some would say it was a poor performance. Some would say Arsenal were lucky to get out of it alive. Did it stunt the momentum? Honestly, I don't think so. Were people a bit underwhelmed after the North London derby? They're two completely different games, people, and you've got to take them as different, and they're never, ever going to have the same intensity. We're joined by my co-host, Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, you're doing, Kieron. Good evening, mate. Good evening to everybody out there. I hope you're having a good weekend.
I'm good. Before we carry on, everyone hit that like and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed with us on KS1 TV. If you're watching on Facebook, come over to KS1 TV on YouTube and subscribe there. If you're watching on Twitter, do the same. Come over and subscribe here and hit the... And go and follow the Arsenal show on Twitter as well. Well, let's dissect the game, Steve. No real surprises with the starting lineup. We saw Lokonga come in a straight swap for Granit Xhaka. Generally, the rest of the team was pretty much the same as against Tottenham. How do you feel the game went?
I wasn't overly happy with the performance, but at the same time, like you said, these are two different types of football match, and you have to take that into consideration. And people were saying about the conditions, that plays a part, but Brighton had to deal with that as well as Arsenal. So I don't look a lot into that, but no, I was hoping for a little bit better than this today. Not so much. I wouldn't have minded the 0-0 draw. It was more that the performance and the lack of it of certain players that I was a bit disappointed in. But like us against Spurs, we played well, and that's why we beat Spurs. Brighton played well today, and we can't take that away from them. They're on form now. At the moment, they've got the confidence is flowing through them. They're sitting there right at the top of the table, and when you're in that momentum, you're going to play well, and that's what they did today. But as far as Arsenal was concerned, I wasn't so disappointed in the result. It was more the performances of certain individuals that I was a little bit unhappy with.
Whose performances were you a bit underwhelmed by? Some
couldn't be helped. Some just had a bad performance on the day, and we've both played football and we watched it long enough, and that happens. And again, I take that into consideration. But let's start from the most disappointed performance of someone today, and for me, that was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I was looking for him to continue his form again, where he played against Spurs, and he, for me, he didn't do it. For others, he may have. For me, he didn't do it. His first touch in the first half, his first touch in the first half, about 3 times, his first 3 touches out of the 5 that he probably passed the ball to him, just bouncing off of him and going to a Brighton player. And that's not so much of a lack of skill, because we all know that he's capable of, easily controlling the ball when the ball's passed to him. It was the fact that, again, it was that little bit of anyhow, that little bit of, sort of do it, didn't really matter. And if you've got that frame of mind on the football pitch, which I felt that he had today, that's what's going to happen. When a ball's coming to you, you're going to try to pull it down, and it's going to bounce off your foot and go to another player. So, yeah, I thought his touch was poor today. I don't think he was giving our midfield players many chances to run into the channels. There was a couple of times where he did, and there was good balls played into him, and he did nothing with it. Not like the old Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang of old. So, yeah, he was someone that, from the preview when I said that, I wanted him to go on and continue that form of what we see. And for me, he didn't today. And the other players weren't so much that they had bad form before. I was disappointed in them. It was just, it never ticked with them today. I would give the others a pass. It was just the fact that it wasn't their day today.
Yeah. I think I know you're talking about there, but we'll get onto that when we talk about the player ratings. With that being said, some props go to Brighton and Graham Potter.
Definitely. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely, 100%. I mean, it's the first chance I've had a look at them since the season starts. Yeah. And they were flying up the top. If they would have won today, they would have gone top of the league. So they're obviously on form. And any Premiership side that is on a bit of form and they've got that confidence flowing with them, it's going to be very hard to beat. A Premiership side is very hard to beat at the best of times, let alone someone who's on a run of games and everything that they're doing is turning to gold, like Brighton are at the moment. They were excellent today. They were excellent at the back. They was excellent in the midfield. And the player that obviously who I'm going to say that stood out was Mark Cucurella.
I was about to say that. I thought he was excellent today.
Yeah, I'll let you have a little chat, talk about him if you want to, but I won't go on, but he was top draw today.
Yeah, no, it's a player who we pointed out when Brighton bought him. We did I got Reyes on to do a little preview of him, and he said there and then he's one player that he feels could take over from Jordi Alba, and a lot of people were like, what? But if you've seen him today, very attacking. He's got that bit of bite about him. He's busy, good passer of the ball, and he was just a nuisance today, but controlled with it as well. I thought he was excellent. I thought he was man of the match, standout player amongst everyone on that pitch today. And even at the end, he was hustling and bustling and winning the ball back from Pepe as well. So yeah, Mark Cucurella was brilliant and a great endorsement out there, Reyes. So yeah, you know your players. What's Johnny saying? Thank you for joining us, Johnny. Really appreciate your support. Right, it was always going to be a tough place to go to get a result, but a draw isn't the end of the world. Johnny, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. I know a lot of people were building this game up as we're going to smash them. This is just Brighton. And I'm just sitting there like, boys, you bring it on yourself. Like, you bring it on yourself. Look, we want to beat these teams. We want to take the momentum from the Tottenham game. But like, this ain't going to happen in one night. This ain't going to happen in a week. The Arsenal still got a lot to do. A very young team, and part of that is finding consistency. And they will get that. These are a top bunch of players, and there's no reason why our belief in this team should have waned after one match. And an away game against Brighton, a team that we always struggling against. It's always a tough game away from home against Brighton. So yeah. Abba was poor today, absolutely right. Yeah, I didn't see much of him, and when he was on the ball, there was just nothing. I thought that there's a very short amount of time that Lacazette was on. He was more in the game, and I thought Pepe, when he came on, he brought more to the game and made the Brighton players think a bit more, because it felt like it opened up a bit more when he came on. So it's surprising how much Pepe can do in that short space of time compared to what Aubameyang done in the whole match that he was on. All right, Steve, let's get to the players' ratings. Aaron Ramsdale.
overall, I thought he had a very good game today. He had that little bit of a mishap in the first half where from the corner he dropped. They happen, and you'll be telling everybody in the dressing room that he was very slippery and the ball slipped out of his hands.
Yeah.
It's the goalkeeper's juniors.
Or the goalkeeper knocked into him. The defender knocked into him. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the defender knocked into him. But you know what? Yeah. For me, because we've all been in that situation as keepers. It's how you deal with it at that time, because it's very easy. It's very easy. It's not even about the next game and the whatever. It's right there and then. It's very easy to drop that ball, slip, say sorry, put your hands up, or people want to dig you out, and then it's in your head. Then you're waiting for the next ball. Then you get that next ball, and you're thinking, "How did I catch that? Oh, it wasn't quite there." Like, it's easy to twist yourself up in knots and just spin around and just end up in a mess. You don't want to do that.
He got rid quick, didn't he? Yeah,
got rid quick, and that is what I like about Ramsey. Rambo, I called him earlier. That's why I said Ramsey. Ramsdale. That's what I like about Ramsdale, because it feels like he brushed it off his shoulders and he moved on. Whereas, I don't want to bring it up, but we've seen our other goalkeepers in that situation where they've made a mistake and it feels like their head's gone for the rest of the game. That's how it felt with the other. I don't even want to mention the names, but that's how it felt with some of the other keepers we've had. Their head goes, and then for the rest of the game, you're worried that any time that ball comes, they're thinking, "Oh, I need to rush out. I need to make up. I need to overcompensate for the mistake I've just made." Ramsdale didn't, and I think he done well. Carry on, Steve.
Yeah. Exactly what you said there. When it's so important to see how he goes on from like having that little bit of a mishap in the first half. He went on to make a good save, I thought. There was a ball that was a shot come cross, but it was going in the goal, and I think he done the right thing by pushing it out. I think that was well. And in the second half, I thought he was fantastic, and he was pretty back to the way he played against Spurs. He made a couple of good saves. He made a fantastic save towards the end, and an absolute great save.
Yeah, it was.
And but
Mopé was just about to nip in and push it in.
That's the one.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is that most important thing, is the fact that he came back after that little mishap and it didn't bother him.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic. And this team ain't going to get very good marks today. But Ramsdale, I give him a 7.
Well, I think that's a fair one. Another clean sheet, and that's all. That's what we asked for our defenders or goalkeeper. It's always nice to get a win on the other end, and sometimes you want those clean sheets to be immaculate, perfect performances from every player, no mistakes, great passing. But sometimes it's just important that you haven't conceded, and that's what you need to take on. You keep that momentum. Yet we could have conceded 2 or 3. We didn't. 0-0. No. So, I think that's the most important thing. Tomiyasu, he had a bit of a tough game today.
Oh, yeah. He didn't have a good game today. Tommy, it was certainly his welcome to the Premiership game, wasn't it? But he was up against an absolute outstanding individual today. We've already spoke about him, Mark Cucurella. And he was the man of the match. So, not such a bad thing when you're up against a man who ended up being man of the match. But he won the battle with Tomiyasu, and to be quite honest with you, he gave him a run around.
Yeah, he did.
The whole match. We've praised Tomiyasu, for the last 2 games, and deservedly so, and we'll be praising him 9 times out of 10, as the season goes on. Yeah. But Tommy, I'm going to have to give you a 4 because you got done today.
All right, Steve's dishing out the 4s on Tomiyasu. Oh, are you Nathan in disguise? Ben White.
I thought Ben White was absolutely excellent today. I thought he played really, really well. He was strong in tackles. He was again, good in the air. He was getting blocks in. Whether this he was like, you always find this when you go back to your old grand that you
got
tend
to show.
to
Yeah.
you got to show how good you are.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent today. I thought he did everything. I thought he was probably our best defender today.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, people will have put him down over the last few weeks. Saying he's not worth this and he's not worth that. I mean, he's worth every penny to me of that £50 million, and he's going to be a fantastic, centre half for Arsenal as time goes on. I gave White a 7.
Touch wood. It's looking that way, innit? It's looking very much like that 50 million is well spent. It's very easy to say 50 million. You could have got this, you could have got that, you could have spent it in other areas, but then you're putting Rob Holding in there, or you're putting, or some people would say you should play Saliba, but Saliba's, again, we're going back to young, inexperienced defenders who Mikel Arteta clearly doesn't really fancy at the moment and feels that he needs to go out on loan. So, yeah, I think Ben White's done very good since he's come in and dealt with that.
If we spoke about Gabriel last week, White was nearly on that level this week, and so, big up to him. Great performance today.
Gabriel,
safe. I thought he was safe. I thought he was solid. I thought he was under pressure the whole game. And considering he was under pressure the whole game, I thought he dealt with things, brilliantly. I mean, it wasn't until I think Brighton had probably 2 shots in the whole game on target. So although it looked like Brighton was sort of hammering and it was going down the flanks, and they was pressurising, and looked like they was causing us problems, and they was banging on the door. They wasn't. If you looked at the game, properly, you'd notice that they wasn't really making any chances out of it. It was only for the amount of possession that they had. Our defenders were getting headers in. They were getting the tackles in. Yeah, we was under pressure. Yeah, we was under pressure. A lot
of it was from range as well.
Yeah.
A lot of it was from range. So much of it. So
because I never felt in that game. I've watched Arsenal obviously all my life, and you watch a game and you think, oh no, they're going to score in a minute. What's going on? And you feel under pressure, and you just you want to turn it off and turn it on the 89th minute and see what the score is. But I never felt like that today. Yeah. I never felt pressured by Brighton. I never felt they was going to score. And I think that's mainly because, of our goalkeeper and our centre backs and our defence, because it's improved so much. So yeah. I give Gabby. I think he was safe. He was solid. He was 6.
All right, solid 6. We're going to say it's a high 6. Kieron Tierney.
Yeah, I mean, it was a quiet game as far as Kieron Tierney going forward today. Most of the time, he was defending. He got down the flanks a couple of times, got a few crosses in, hitting the first man on the first one. Good cross on the second one, but they got 2 big centre halves in there that pretty much cleared up anything that was going across into that centre of the box.
One of them comes from Middle Earth, mate. Like he is not huge. That guy's like 6'10". He's massive. Was it Byrne? Dan Byrne. Is he a Super League rugby player or something? Like what is he? Where'd they find him?
I couldn't tell you.
That ain't right.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't. Middle Earth. Yeah.
What did you give Tierney?
I thought he was safe. I thought he had another good defending game. I thought he did all right.
So what was his?
6.
6. Cool. Kieron Tierney gets a 6. Thomas Partey.
Thomas Partey. Let's get this straight now. Boy, does he miss Granit Xhaka. It just stood out a mile.
Yeah.
And I'll explain, because it's not just the fact that the reason why we was under a lot of pressure was because Xhaka wasn't there. And the reason why we wasn't getting forward and Odegaard and Smith Rowe wasn't as good as what we've seen them recently is because Xhaka wasn't there. You know, that midfield was a non-midfield. They was under so much pressure. But saying that, he played in the first half. He was playing a couple. He made some loose passes, but overall, I thought he had a decent game. He should have scored in I think it was the second half. But yeah, he didn't have a lot of help in there. You know, he didn't have a lot of help in there, and it just you know, it's funny how people's minds change, because now all you're seeing on Twitter is, oh no, Xhaka, why isn't he playing there? We miss him, and he's great. Well, I told you that 2 years ago, how good he was and what he meant to Arsenal Football Club. And now everybody's saying, oh, I miss him, I'll get him back. Oh, we miss Xhaka. He does a job. But Partey, I thought he did well today. I thought he played some good balls through. I thought he was decent, as I said, but he did have some loose passes. Gave the ball away a couple of times, which he must get that sorted. But I gave him a 6.
All right, Thomas Partey gets a 6. Yeah, he's definitely showing more consistency.
Yeah, it was an I6. It was an I6. It was an I6.
He's breaking up the play nicely. I'd just like to see the other side of Thomas Partey's game, which I know he's got, which is a lot better on the passing side. Sammy the Conga, tough game for him today. Yeah,
it was very tough. He was getting swamped in that first half. He just didn't know what hit him, and Partey was trying to protect him, where normally it's Xhaka that protects Partey, and therefore Partey got and played his proper game because Xhaka wasn't there. But talking about the Congo, I ain't going to have a go at him. He was getting swamped. He couldn't get control of that midfield. He couldn't get on the ball. A couple of times he did. You know, he sort of didn't do much with it. And as I said, it was difficult for Thomas Partey to play his game. But to be fair to him, he kept going, and he did have a better second half. But I have to give the Congo a 5 today. So I don't know what you think, but yeah, it's a bit slow.
No, it's one of those things. He's not ready to be the main central midfielder for Arsenal yet.
No,
he's still got a way to go. He's still got to learn the Premier League. It's just, I think it's going to show in the coming games that it's tough, because we need a central midfielder. We need that additional central midfielder. I think they was trying to get him in the summer. They couldn't get the deals over the line because they probably couldn't get players out off the books first. And I think that's gonna sting us a bit. Essentially, Xhaka's not going to be back until after Christmas. So
we're in trouble.
So yeah,
we're in serious trouble.
It is a worry. It is a worry. The Congo's going to have to find these boots very quickly if Arsenal were to do anything this season.
Yeah, or change the system.
Yeah, change the system.
Play Odegaard.
Odegaard in that number 8 position. Smith Rowe, and then bring Pepe on. There's other options. There's definitely other options, but yeah.
But there's El Neni as well, isn't there? So
yeah, and then
I think he's more likely. I think he'll bring El Neni in. You know,
probably maybe, but then we see him in a couple of games, and then you realise that it's limited what you're going to get out of El Neni. Yeah, that's the problem. Martin Odegaard.
Yeah, quiet game, wasn't it today?
Yeah,
from Martin Odegaard. He kept the ball
not clean enough for me for Martin Odegaard performance.
No. He kept the ball moving at times, but very quiet. and I think it was all down to having that experienced midfielder again next to Partey. Because there's so like domino effects. You can have one player in that midfield, and then it can allow other people to, play their game. And I generally think that the Xhaka today was absolutely enormous miss. And it's worrying what we're going to do going ahead until he's back. But I thought Odegaard today, he kept the ball moving. He had a very quiet first half, and in the second half, he got pulled off. So this ain't a bad thing. Like the conga, that I'm going to give Odegaard a 5.
All right, mine Odegaard gets a 5. Bukayo Saka.
He's brilliant, weren't he? I just thought he was absolutely first minute. That run, nearly scored. I thought, wow, this kid's something else. And then as the first off went on, I thought, I've written down on my notes, I thought this kid he's on it. He's really, really on it. And because the ball just kept being played out to him all the time, because one thing that Tommy Ashley was able to do when he got the ball, he was finding Saka. Mm-hmm. But second half, he went quiet. He wasn't in it as much as the first half. I thought it was a game of two halves. I thought he was absolutely outstanding in the first half, and in the second half he sort of disappeared. In the end, he's gone off with an injury. If he's out as well, then I don't know. Then they just flopped. It was the other week we was only speaking about it, wasn't we? When we said that if we can keep this 11, great. But if we can't, then we're in trouble.
These are a lot of that's just hope, though, isn't it? Because you can't. Who can keep an 11 players fit throughout the whole season? Like you just can't. So it shows you've got to have that strength in depth, and Arsenal lack that. Now we talk about we've lost Xhaka, and now we're talking about having to replace Xhaka for the next 3 months with El Nene, or a player who's just coming from the Belgian Premier League. Like that's a massive contrast. Where if you look at someone like a Man United, you look at someone like, I know you can't really look at Man City. It's not even bothering to talk about Man City. Even if you look at someone like a Liverpool, they've got strength in depth. Now, Liverpool are probably one of the weaker teams with that depth, but they've still got more depth. Arsenal are lacking that. But what they did do in the summer, so you've got to give a little bit of props, is the fact that they added to that depth. It just clearly wasn't enough. Clearly wasn't enough to take us to that next level. If we start losing players like Saka as well as that, then we're in serious trouble.
Well, we will be getting more players out in January, and there are players coming in January.
Yeah.
So if you're an Arsenal fan, it's very interesting. It's obviously the obvious players that are going out, and some may be staying till the summer, but there are some players coming in that will come to light in the next few weeks. But it has to be done. January has to be January is not normally a big month, but for Arsenal, it has to be a big month, because if we can't not afford not to go into Europe again. So looking on what we've seen of Lokonga when Jack is out, we can't afford. Now we know that we need someone else, and he's got to bring someone else in.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. But Saka on the basis of his first half performance, I'm going to give Saka a 7.
All right, Saka gets a 7. Emil Smith Rowe in a game where there wasn't much bright lights, he was trying his best to be the bright light, weren't he?
He was. I thought he was quiet the first half.
Yeah.
But then he sort of started coming into his own in the second half. There was a few poor touches that he had in the first half, but I think that was down to just Brighton just, targeting him and saying, look, this is the guy you got to stop.
Yeah.
And, they sort of marked him out of the game the first half pretty much, but he still looked dangerous when he got the ball. But in the second half, he started to tick. He moved into that number 10 role when Martin Odegaard came off. And then he started, and then he started to, buzz about. He looked really good. And as soon as that happened, the first thing that came into my head, Kieron, was put Odegaard in a number 8 next week and let him play in that number 10 role because he can play there and he can make chances, and defenders are frightened of him, and he can't play out on the wing here. And he's not a winger. He's not a left-sided footballer.
He's not quick enough.
He's not quick enough. So if we bring Odegaard next to Partey, play Odegaard in that number 8, and then put Smith Rowe in the front as that number 10, then go with that, because he was a different player in that second half. Maybe Arteta's seen it, we'll see. But on there I gave him a 7.
All right. Smith Rowe gets a 7. He definitely did brighten up, and I think it opened up the play a lot more when Pepe came out. Probably added a bit more width, which then sort of made Brighton think, because they're playing with 3 at the back, so it meant that Pepe could probably get into them channels, which then they had to then gave us more space in other areas where, so maybe that's something that the manager should have thought about, but once he's seen how they lined up. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Well, we've already spoke about him, haven't we? He had an awful game today. Bad touches, bad finishing at times. We should have at least made the goalkeeper at work and get a shot on target. He never. A bit disappointed in him today. I'm looking at the score that I've written down on this piece of paper.
You're trying to take it back.
And I'm thinking to myself, should I up it? But what I've done, I think I've put the point down for 1 because of that headband he had on. So he may have been that? 1 higher.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Pierre, you ain't got that much hair to be wearing a hairband. Bro, it'd like be me wearing an Alice band. There's no point. Like, come on, man. Like, I ain't gonna be that old geese that's gonna say it's distractions. But what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Fucking hell! He had a bag of old tights on his head. It looks awful. Go on, what mark are you giving him?
Well, you had a 4, but I'm deducting 1 point for the headband.
For the headband, so it's a 3.
So you're getting a 3.
I think he had 3 chances on target, or 3 not on target, 3 chances that he could have scored. Who else? Who else do we have there? Nicolas Pepe.
Well, I mean, players coming on. I mean, considering the marks that I've given the rest of them today, I mean, how high can you give the subs that come on? I thought Lacazette, ran around a lot. But he was playing in midfield. What was he doing? Why aren't you up there? You're playing. Like, he seemed to keep coming deep, and I think people saying like, "Oh, he won an header. He was winning headers." Yeah, he was winning headers in the centre circle. Is this what we've become to? Is that Alex? Is this you now? Is this what your rest of your footballing career is going to be? Sort of winning headers in the centre of the park.
That's what he was doing last season when he was not in great form. He was dropping deep and doing his thing and showing himself to work hard, but it doesn't really help when you're trying to get a goal. No. I don't think there's much he could have done today, but being in the right area is generally going to help when you're centre forward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, he's bought He's just done it. He's came on for Aubameyang, so you've got a like for like, and then he's playing in midfield.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, was Arteta told you just to sit in midfield, tighten the midfield up because we was getting ripped in there? I don't know.
Link up play. He's been watching the game.
Link up play to who?
He's seen there's a hole. He's seen there's a hole. He's seen the hole in front of the defenders because they're like, well, you can sit in there if you want because what are you going to do? What are you going to do in there to us three? Nothing.
Yeah.
There's been no threat from these flanks at the moment. So, yeah.
Lewis Dunk was further up, or was it Shane? They were further up the pitch than Lacazette was.
Dunk,
yeah, they was further up the pitch than he was. I don't know. Maybe one of the midfield players had a Mars bar or something because he could do with losing some timber there, Alex.
Not the first person that said that. Not the first person that said that.
So this is what this is Arsenal Football Club, and this is what we got to, put up with, and I see the back end of Nathan's, and he's saying like Man United ain't top tonight and how gutted he is. And I'm like, how the other half live? Look at where we.
They've got a bench of Cavani. They had Pogba, Ronaldo, and Sancho on their bench today. Like, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Oh, we could have gone top today. Damn. Yeah. Oh my God. I would have just been happy with a 0-0 and run the show today.
They got McTominay and Fred in central midfield, who they're not quite happy with, mate. Right now, I'd take one of them. I'd take one. We've got El Neni as our fourth choice. You've got options of Fred, McTominay, Pogba, but we'll carry on with this show and not that show. I was getting lost there. Right,
we'd have to have a double show one day. Man United Arsenal special.
Yeah, when we play them, it ain't that long away, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. All right, what are you giving Lacazette?
3. Thought Pepe done a bit better though. I thought he done a bit better.
I thought Pepe came on and they brought something different to the game.
Yeah, Pepe. But it would be unfair to give him more than Odegaard, Lokonga, so give him a 5.
Right, Pepe gets a 5. It'd be interesting to see what he does with Pepe in the next game because, as you're saying, for me, Lokonga it just didn't work, and I think it would be too harsh on him to just keep playing him through. I think he needs to be nurtured into this team, which I think was the idea when they bought him to be cover for both Lacazette playing in midfield for both Partey and Xhaka, or either or, because he's got 2 sides of his game. But I think it's just too early to have him in there as what's going to be more than half a season or half a season because Xhaka's only just come back for one game. It's it'd be interesting to see whether he does go with the team that he went against with Burnley and put Pepe back on that wing, Odegaard in central midfield, and Smith Rowe at number 10 because I just think it would be too much for Lokonga to hold out.
But I think Emil Smith-Rowe was very quiet today by his standards until he went into that number 10 position. And then I thought he really sort of, started to tick. So, yeah. But we're not Mikel Arteta, are we, I suppose?
No. Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I don't even remember him coming on.
Did he come on?
I didn't even remember him coming on. Let's just, give him a 4 because we didn't see him enough. NA. I don't remember him playing. Apologies to Ainsley. Like he was on for a couple of minutes. Mikel Arteta. I don't think he could do as far as like the team. What could else he have done? The only thing he could have done is what we've just been speaking about is take the Congo out, put a Odegaard in and play Pepe. And, at the beginning, everybody was saying, I mean, I did say in the preview that I wanted to see Odegaard play, but I thought he'd play the Congo. And that's exactly what he did.
But apart from that, as far as the team goes, yeah. And I think looking at players, I think if anything, it was players either not being good enough or letting him down, i.e. Aubameyang being awful and just the Conga just not there yet. And look, again, let's not take anything away from Brighton. They were on it today. They were top draw, and they could have played anybody today and given them that type of game. And there'll be top teams in the top 6 going to Brighton, and they'll be losing. So we have to remember that.
And I stand by what I said earlier. Yeah, Brighton and Arsenal are two. I think what people do, yeah, is they hear the name Brighton, yeah, and automatically go, "We're Arsenal. We've got to be beating Brighton."
Yeah.
Okay, we do, but is that do we normally just beat Brighton? We don't.
No.
We don't. I just had to check. I just had to check head to head with Brighton, and this goes back as far as 1935. Our record against Brighton's awful, home and away. Our record against Brighton have probably won more games against Arsenal than the other way round.
Wow.
Which is like, and if you want to go more recent head to heads, yeah, let's go back until 2013. We lost in the FA Cup, lost in the FA Cup, lost in the FA Cup. We won in the Premier League, lost in the Premier League in 2017, won in the Premier League away from home. Drew away from home 1-0, drew at home 1-0. In 2019, we won, double win. Wasn't a great year for Brighton. It's probably the year they went down. 2020, 2020, we won away from home, lost, and drew. So record against Brighton's not. It's not formidable. It's not one of them things where it's no. It's not. It's not one of them things where it's like, oh, we've got a good record against Brighton. We're smashing them up. And when you've got these head-to-head records, the other team's already got a sort of in their head mentally, they're ready for you. Like it's a bit like earlier today when someone was saying about I think it's Rio Ferdinand saying about Cristiano Ronaldo being on the bench. The Everton players in that dressing room would see Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench and go, "Do you know what? Sweet, we can do something today." And that's how the Brighton players will look at the recent head-to-head, the recent how we played, how we go up against them, how this team is transforming the Brighton team, and think Arsenal, they're going to try and go toe-to-toe with us. We're a ball-playing team. We can do something here. We can try and get something out of this game. So they're going to be buoyed up as it is. So you're not going to get a team that's going to be fearful of Arsenal right now. Not many people are. So we have to then get that back. We have to then earn that respect back from teams. And that will come with time. It's not going to be easy, but we've just got to be patient. We have to be patient with this team. And we have to be patient with this manager because we can't go from where we were last week, getting all hyped up about the Tottenham game, and then think that all of a sudden it's all gone to pot after 1 week, because it's not. It's not. Not how it works. Not at all. We still kept a clean sheet. Ramsdale still had a good game. I've got the back four clean sheet. So yeah, there's encouraging. There's always encouragement. Yes, this is a Brighton team that picked us apart at points in the game. But not every team plays like that, and this Brighton team is obviously having a good season. So I fully expect them this season to end up in the top half of the league and maybe surprise a few people where they're going to finish as well.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, it's as you said. You've said it all there. It was a 0-0 against a team on form, against a very good side.
Yeah.
They've bought very well. The confidence is up, and a team that notoriously we have struggled against in the past, and we all know as football fans how this wizardry happens when you play a team that even though you go back over the years, you just can't seem to you seem to sort of either win or draw. You might get the odd every now and then, but no, look, it was 0-0. We never lost. It was a good. If you sort of analyse it properly, you will say it was a good defensive performance by quite a few players, Tierney, White and Gabriel, Tommy had a bit of a run around today, so it was good defensive performance. Ramsdale had another excellent game. So yeah, not worried at all. And as I already said, there's going to be a lot of teams, a lot of big teams, better than Arsenal going to Brighton this season, and probably coming away getting beat. So that's Arsenal fans out there. That's the way you got to look at it. So yeah,
and we go into the international break. Yeah, a little bit disappointed that we didn't get 3 points to take into that, but we move on and we take it into the next game, which is against. Let me just check. Crystal Palace, tough game.
Patrick,
two games.
Yeah.
Our next 3 games are at home. Crystal Palace at home, Aston Villa at home, and Leeds at home. 3 tough games. One in the EFL Cup. So again, every game feels like a test. Every game feels like okay, we've got through this test. We've got through the North London derby. Now we've got a tough team a game against a tough team who like to play football. Aren't afraid to come and try and match us up toe to toe with our players. Okay, boom. We disappointed that we didn't scrape a win out of that. Boom, we didn't lose. Okay, we get to the next one. Aston Villa is going to be a tough game. Crystal Palace, it's at home, so we should get a win. So let's look for the win against Crystal Palace, and then we move from there. But Aston Villa is going to be a tough one as well. Yeah.
I mean, they can match us at the moment. You look at their team, you look at our team, and there ain't a lot in it. There's probably a few players in their side that we wouldn't mind in ours.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very, very, very tough. And Arsenal are in. We're building at the moment. We're in transition. Okay, people will say, well, we've been in transition too long. That's all very well. But the fact is, we are still in transition. I think Mikel Arteta now is building a very good squad. I'm happy with what I'm seeing. There's still a couple of things that need sorting out, i.e. Another goalkeeper, i.e. centre midfield player now for when Xhaka is sort of injured. And we also need a centre forward and another striker. We get them. Yeah.
If ever it was evident that we need another striker, and for me, it's not just for a replacement for Lacazette. It's also to be like, you could sit on the bench, Aubameyang, if you put in performances which are under par. Like it's been okay. I can't really say it's been 2 seasons because it's only been 1, and this is a different season, so we don't know what he's like this season. But if he was to have not a great season, then it wouldn't be a case of, okay, no, you've got to give him props. He's for the past 4, because it can't go like that.
No,
it's on your form now. It's because he set the standard. Yeah, so we're expecting something close to that now. Because if we don't get that, we're in trouble. Because we don't have enough goals coming from anywhere else. But if you took 30 goals a season out of any team, they'd be in trouble. Any team.
Yeah.
If you took 30 goals a season out of Liverpool, Man City, Man United, they'd be in trouble. They'd be completely halfway down the table. So, and that's why it's so important that Aubameyang starts scoring.
Yeah, every point. I mean, I'd like to see, how many goals we'd scored 2 seasons ago to, with the games played of what we've played already today, up to yet. But yeah, it's evident he must know. There must be a striker there that he knows he wants. If he doesn't, then he shouldn't be Arsenal manager. He must know who that is. Okay, goalkeeper, he can play around with that a bit, because Deno's only going if we say he goes. So he could sit there. But ideally, you don't want to have your man in the camp. So ideally, you want to get Leno out and you want to get another goalkeeper in. And we all know that that's what Arteta's looking to do. But even the centre midfield, they're not great names, but they are players there that can slot in. And who knows? We still don't know that, Lukonga's found it tough today, but we don't know, by 4 or 5 times down the road, he might be smashing it and getting a nice little partnership up with Thomas Partey. We don't know. But one thing that is evident, and one thing that we know is 100% sure of, without looking into the future, is that we need a striker.
Yeah.
That's if that is if Aubameyang starts smashing it or not. We still need another striker.
Yeah.
So that's why, I've been asking around, looking about, because I do feel that striker could possibly come in January.
Yeah, I think they need something. All right. Thanks for joining us tonight, Steve. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers,
everyone
mate.
else as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us, Johnny. Thank you very much for joining us, D-Star. I think I reached out to you on Twitter. I think it was. Thank you. It's a new name on there. Please hit that subscribe button. I think you already did. If you didn't, anyone else out there who hasn't hit that subscribe button, smash that subscribe now. It's free. It's free. Yeah. It's one button, one movement. Bosh. Yeah. And the next thing you know, you're getting the best football content out there. All right. And we've got some savage things coming up. I want to just tell you now, but I'm not going to. I want to tell you now. I'm like, I want to tell you who it is, but I can't.
All I can say, people, I know who's coming on, and just take it from me. Please, just subscribe. And smack. If you subscribe and you're not happy with what comes up in the next month or so, then you can come and DM me and tell me who I am. Right? That's how confident I am. Push that subscribe button.
We've got. I'm gonna throw it out now. We've got some of the best guests to come on this show in the next couple of months. Yeah, that any Arsenal channel has had.
Yeah.
Bar Arsenal.
Facts.
Put it that way. I'm being deadly serious. I'm not messing around. I'm not trying to blow smoke up anyone's backside. Yeah. This channel, KS1 TV, is about to have guests up there that some of the million sub channels have not even got close to. All right. So you hit that subscribe, and you're going to be the people that said, we were here first. Tell all your friends to come round, because they ain't going to find that content anywhere else, people. All right. Thank you very much for showing your support. We really do appreciate it. We actually do. We reach out to everyone who writes a comment to us anytime. If we've missed it, we apologize. We're coming a bit later, whatever. Yeah, we are very appreciative of your time and effort that you give to us. Thanks for joining us. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.